a lot of chemicals and pollutants into the water at one time and caused a major collapse of the Western Long Island Sound lobster fishery. So it really appeared that it was storm-induced, water-induced, things like that. And the more we started looking into the chemicals that were being used for mosquito control, we found that they were much more lethal to many crustaceans. Not only the lobster. Lobster's the one that everyone notices, but you've got crabs, you've got little crustaceans and copepods. They all are affected by the compounds. The malathion was this contact kill chemical that was replaced by BTI. Connecticut has replaced it. New York has not. So we feel, halfway there and fairly comfortable that the other two compounds that this legislation addresses should be terminated, and that's what the pressure is for, from industry and for the, sociological appreciation of an industry, fishing industry that's been around for a long time. My early career at UConn, we helped them be recognized by their associations reporting to the legislature, are having forums and explaining the economic values of lobsters, oysters, clams, the dragger fleet, trying to get funding for the Port of Stonington. So it's a complex, ball of marine environmental survival that we're all trying to work on now. The whole purpose of this, a lot of it, the undercurrent, is to have New York take a very close look and change, I feel, their pesticide use strategies and compounds, and come in line with a lot of the other southern New England states like Rhode Island and Connecticut that face on Long Island Sound.
Today's really a great day. We're able to take the first step in hopefully saving the lobster industry in the state of Connecticut. We have passed some legislation this year on a bipartisan basis, thanks to the help of Senator Carlo Leone and myself and many others, so that we can really move forward with stopping many of the chemicals that have been in Long Island Sound. We have chemicals now that have been put into storm basins that are going into Long Island Sound that are affecting our lobster industry. We're looking to stop that, to bring back the industry and to grow those jobs again. So I want to thank the industry, the lobster industry, for really pushing us on this, and thank so many others who have been instrumental in getting the legislature to act as well.
Yeah, I want to thank Senator Bob Duff for bringing out and passing this legislation with the support of many other legislators that made this a bipartisan effort, and also with the assistance and direction of Roger Freight and Tony Carlo here of the Darien Seafood Market. They've been giving us all the information and giving us the boots on the ground information on the importance of this legislation, and we couldn't have done it without their assistance and their guidance. The good news is we have this legislation that can bring back this industry to the glory that it once used to have. Once the introduction of these chemicals, methoprene and resmethrin, started being used, it had a devastating impact on our lobster industry. We now have other alternatives that have been proven to be effective and a better alternative to be more environmentally friendly to the industry. And so what we need to do is take today's legislation that we've passed and make sure that other states that are using the more harsh chemicals to maybe see that there are better alternatives and better solutions available. So we need to keep pushing this message forward until we accomplish that goal and task, and with the help of everyone here, Senator Duff or Roger and Tony, I'm sure we can get to that point.
This is a great win, the Long Island Sound. I wanted to mention another man, the Attorney General Blumenthal, who's helped us for the last 15 years. He's not here now, but he served us at the Piedmont Club with Bob Duff, and we always spoke to him, and Mr. Carlo. We always spoke to him about the lobster industry, and there's a form out there in 2005. He wanted a central station to monitor all pesticides going in the water and catch bases. We never got this done. He tried all he could, but he was Attorney General at the spot. Maybe someday between New York and Connecticut, we can get it done, because it's the only way we're going to get the lobster industry back. If they can get the ocean back, I don't want to hear Long Island Sounds polluted, because the last 25 years, our soundskeeper, Terry Backer, cleaned up the water. To me, it looks like a swimming pool from back in the 50s and 60s. I want to thank everyone, Bob Duff, everyone from the state, everyone that's behind it, really behind it, not looking to get their name in the paper, and really making New York change their ways and get rid of the people that are really poisoning the environment for no reason.
Back in 1999, we had 1,200 families that were fishing. There was 1,200 licenses, I believe, that were issued. Right now, I would say if you have a few lobstermen in every town, that's a lot. There's hardly anybody left fishing. I myself, I sat the sidelines basically last year and for this year. His boat actually found the lobsters with the pesticides in it that the DEP actually used. But as far as the monies go, Long Island Sound was producing $100 million a year back in 1999, and there was a lot of revenues. I mean, what would it be worth today? Is the question. What would it was just getting better and better. The amount of lobsters that were on that bottom of the sound were basically farm raised by all of us. We raised them from when they were juveniles all the way up until we could keep them. Fed them every day. It definitely hit the economy pretty bad, especially over a long-term basis. I mean, how much money really is lost, especially when it goes from one person, $1 might be worth $10 by the time it gets done, going from person to person. A lot of mom and pop stores we've all supported throughout all the years, they're all gone. Long Island Sound, it was a money-making thing, not that it's not now, because there's still people making money out there. But this is a great thing for Long Island Sound, just not the fishermen. We need to get the sound back to where it was, and we'll take it from there. We just hope that it's not too late.
This is a gigantic step forward for us. And as Tony said, this was a $100 million a year industry, and to lose that was pretty devastating to all of us. This is a tremendous, vital, natural resource that we have here, and it needs to be nurtured. Farm these things from start to finish, from the minute they hatch out of the egg to the minute we harvest them. We catch them over and over and over again. So it's absolutely essential to have this equilibrium solid.